everybody, and welcome back to our YouTube channel where we will be picking a topic. So, Shinta, you can do the honors again.
Okay, let's see what today's topic says. Okay, the topic says, should you use a consultant or a lawyer for immigration? Okay, so I guess it is not R, like as in this R and that, but like should you use professional help? Then I guess that's what the question is asking. So, you want me to go first?
Yeah, you go, because you will got more knowledge than me.
Okay, so in my opinion, I believe that is always ways to get professional help when going about any type of immigration applications. There's some very fortunate people that do it themselves and actually get through with it. But majority of people, I believe, would need that additional assistance. And also, the next thing is, even if you get through with something, like let's say for example you're a student, you get through with a student permit, but yourself, you might not, you might apply for a work permit and might not get it yourself. You know, like sometimes it could go either way. But in my opinion, I think it's always better to get that professional help. I remember the first time I applied for, I think it was the student permit. The student permit. Sorry.
Permit, right.
I think I did it on my own. I think it was a student permit. I did it on my own, or was it the work? It was one of them. I can't remember. But one of them I did on my own, and I did not get through with it. I didn't do one of the things the way they wanted me to do it, and they turned down. I remember they had turned me down. I think it was my work permit though.
Yeah,
they turned me down because I didn't get a letter from my employer that showed that I had worked for a year. I mean, some immigration officers might have just messaged me or emailed me and said, can you get this letter from your employer or whatever. There's some that are very nice like that, and then there's some, unfortunately, that, are not so nice, and they turn down an entire application for just one simple thing. And so, to avoid these things, I think it's important to get that professional help.
For my case, I also would have used immigration, consultant?
Yeah, consultant.
I use an immigration consultant. But I think when you are choosing your immigration consultant, do a bit of research, because there's some people who might be con artists, whereby they just want your money and then you don't get through. So just research your immigration consultant. If you're a person like me that don't read through things properly, I would advise you to get a consult person, immigration consultant, so that you would not have the honor of being disappointed.
Then it won't be an honor.
It won't be an honor, but what I'm saying is
you won't be disappointed.
You won't be disappointed, because I know myself, and I know that if I had done this myself, I'm telling you, I probably would be back in Barbados. So I would highly recommend using a immigration consultant.
And as Tony said, it is very important to choose someone to do your research and choose someone that has your best interests. It's not only the case that some people, yeah, it might be that some people might be con artists, but there are also cases where there's a legit lawyer or consultant, and because your case may not seem so big to them, they just kind of, see it as a whatever situation. They take your money and then they still don't really put a lot of effort. Because I remember when after I had applied for my work permit but something didn't get through, I remember that I had gone to a lawyer to get help with my work permit. It was a very simple, it was just an extension I was asking for, until I applied for my PR or whatever, and I needed an extension, something very simple, But I remember, I think he said that it was a $2,000 or something. I can't remember. 2000. I think he quoted me $2,000. I can't remember. But the point is, um, when he did my application, when he sent through my application, okay, and I did not get through with him, with this person. I didn't get through, right? And when he did this, when I went back to him, because he called me back to his office, he told me, well, unfortunately, you didn't get through, right? And he's a liar. And um, when I look back at my application, I told him, let me see my application, right? When I look back at my application, I found so many errors, including my name wasn't spelled correctly. There was different errors in the application, and I'm telling myself, well, he's a liar.
Right.
So he should know, like, these little things. And I'm paying you $2,000. You understand? But these little things are something that a law student or something could pick out. And you're somebody that's been a lawyer for so many years, and you're making all these errors. You understand? So for me, I realized that my case was small in his eyes, and so he just did what he wanted to do with it. And then he actually had the gall to turn around and tell me, you should leave the country and come back in or whatever. And I never thought that was a wise idea. I remember speaking to my mom and my dad and my sister about it, and we all agreed that it wasn't a good idea to leave the country. It was like a better idea to find somebody else. And my mother knew of somebody that at the time it was his dad that was doing immigration, and he was a really good consultant.
Excellent.
And I mean the dad was a really good consultant. And so by the time I went to the person, it wasn't his dad anymore, it was his son. And the son was just as passionate as the dad, very thorough. He told me if you had left, you would have to start all over again. Despite the fact that you went to school, you graduated, whatever, you would have had to start all over again. So it's a really good thing that you didn't leave. And then from there, he went through everything with me. He was very thorough. He was very patient. He was very encouraging. And, it's because of him today that I actually have gotten everything I've gotten, even though I didn't use him for my citizenship and stuff. He was like, you're going to get that. Like, he was just very encouraging. He knew, and he didn't overprice me or anything like that. He basically just, after the situation I went through, with the lawyer paying the lawyer the $2,000, which felt like a scam, he just basically charged me. He didn't even charge me for his services at that point. He just charged me for the money I would have had to pay immigration to get the application back in again.
Yeah.
And then the fees that I had to pay for the application or whatever. That was it. At that time, he didn't charge me for anything, because he knew I already pretty much got scammed, so to speak, from this person that was supposed to be a professional. You know what I mean? And then, yeah, so it's very important, even if the person is a lawyer or is a consultant, you still have to, if you see that, check back on yourself. If you see that things aren't looking correct, you see their mistakes in your application, everything, question it. And if you feel uncomfortable, and I say this about anything, if you feel uncomfortable about anything, you always go to somebody else. There's more than one dog named Bob. Like how we say in my culture, there's more than one dog named Bob, so therefore there's more than one person out there that could do the job.
That can do the job.
Exactly. So yeah, so that's one of my advice for people there too.
Another advice that I would say too is, even though yes, hiring a consultant may cost some money, if you know that the consultant is really good and you have read their reviews and do your adequate research, at the end of the day, the money is going to come back. Because I would have had situations whereby I had to do some payments because there were other opportunities that were there for me immigration wise. So I was working, and the good thing is my consultant took like parts of the money, like installments. So he wasn't like breathing down my neck saying, oh, where's my money, blah 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 blah. He was very considerate and compassionate, and he knew that it would come because we have the same consultant. And don't worry about the money. Money comes. My sister loves to say, money comes and money goes. I know sometimes it can be difficult. You might be wondering, but the best thing to do is just talk to your consultant. Let them know what's the situation and be honest and upfront. Because you don't want a case whereby you ducking and dodging and all kind of story, because that's going to actually mess you up. Your immigration, if your immigration, what's it say?
Consultant?
Like it gonna mess up the relationship.
Right.
Right, it gonna mess up the relationship. So always be honest, be true, and just make sure that you find a proper immigration consultant.
So, as Tony just stated about us having the same consultant, so basically, like I said, this person that I went to after the whole situation with the lawyer and stuff, like my mother knew of his father being a consultant before, and like I said, he took over the family business. So he was my consultant throughout the time of me getting a student permit.
Sorry.
Yeah, was it a student permit?
Yeah, we had no the post grad.
No, sorry, not the student permit. The post, right. He was the one that got me the extension, I think, of the post grad. And then from there, he was my consultant right through for my permanent residency and everything, not my citizenship. I did that on my own. But yeah, and so like Tony said, relationships are very important because when you prove to people that you are trustworthy and that you can well, trustworthy and loyal is kind of the same thing,
Yeah.
right? But when you prove to them that you can be trusted, you're loyal, then they tend to go above and beyond for you. I remember one time I was supposed to get my work permit. I think that was a word. It was, yeah, my work permit was supposed to come in, and Tony had a graduation, and literally the night of Tony's graduation, I got my work permit. Like, immigration emailed my consultant and told them, yep, she's gonna get her work permit or whatever. It's gonna come in the mail. And so I was very excited. I spoke to my consultant. I told him, well, I have to travel because Tony had her graduation and stuff. So I took that risk and I traveled. I knew my work permit was coming. And I'm very grateful to God because God brought it through right in time for me to go to Tony's graduation. But then afterwards, when I was coming back, the work permit hadn't come as yet in the mail. So it actually came to my consultant's office by the time I was coming back into the country. I only spent like a week out. So when I got to the airport, I remember I was talking to my consultant and stuff, and he said, okay, I'm going to come to the airport to you. And if the immigration asks you like anything about your work permit, because I didn't have it on me. All I had on me was my passport. So he said, like, if the immigration asks you anything, just tell them I'm outside. I have your immigration paper, whatever. So I think it was very admirable. The immigration, by the way, immigration didn't ask me anything. They just basically told me, like, they asked me, but they didn't make it a big deal. They just basically said the next time, make sure you're walking with the work permit or whatever. But they didn't like make a big deal of it. So my consultant didn't end up having to come inside the airport to me. But basically, the fact that he was actually there, not a lot of people would have come to the airport just to make sure they have the paper for you if, like, in case it was needed, right? So just building that relationship of trust and having this person. There are times when the consultant would pay out of his own credit card too, knowing that he would get back the money for us if we couldn't pay at the time or whatever. He would use his own credit card. I'm not saying everybody's not like this, but he would sometimes just use his own credit card and pay for us if that was needed or whatever. So he knew that he could trust me. And then afterwards, as a result, after everything happened for me and Tony came onto the scene, obviously I introduced Tony to him and everything for her journey. And then obviously, as a result of me being so trustworthy and, like, paying him when I needed to pay him and all that other stuff, then he was able then to have the same trust in Tony and know that she would also kind of be the same way. Because he knew the experience he had with me from the before. So it's very important to show people that you can be trusted, because you don't know who's going to be coming after you or what you're going to need help for in the future, to be able to rely on that person. Not only this is about immigration, but it's not only about immigration. This is like on in life period. You know, because no matter who you come across and you need help from somebody's helping you, somebody's assisting you in whatever way, like, whatever it is, show them that you're trustworthy, because you don't know, even if you think, oh, I can get over this person right now, you don't know when you're gonna need the person in the future, or when you will want something to happen for you in the future, or somebody that you care about. So it's very important to do that.
I just want to piggyback from what Shane just said about what he did for her in terms of saying he would have come to the airport to give her the paperwork. I too remember when I had just got the confirmation for a PR and I was leaving, I wanted to go to Barbados. So we had already gotten the okay that I have the PR and everything, but the problem is the paper that they sent to me, I can't show it to immigration when I come back to Canada. So, I went away on faith. I let him know I'm traveling, and if the card comes, if the PR card comes in his mail, I would request for him to send it to me to Barbados. So the time came and everything. I was kind of starting to get worried, but I said, Lord, don't mess me up or anything like that. And I had faith. And then he emailed me. He told me that the card is here. What do you want me to do with it? I said, can you please send it to me to Barbados? I'll give you my address and everything, and I will e-transfer you the money as soon as I get back. Then he told me, okay, no problem. He asked me for my email. He got his secretary rather to ask me for my home address in Barbados. He sent it down, and I kept asking him, what's the price? What's the price? He said, don't worry about it. It's on the house. So I was very loyal to him as it relates to the payments. I was always on time. There was no issues with payment. So again, as my sister said, you don't know what you're doing when you're being loyal to people. And as a life lesson, be honest, be square with the individual, let them know, and you don't know what God will have in store for you. Because I got it, got it shipped home, and not a little bit of money. So yeah.
And I just wanted to comment also on the part to where Tony said about paying money,
On time.
not on time, paying money for important things.
Right.
People tend to want to choose the easiest way out, and like I said, some people like to do the application on their own, and for that I would say you can just read the application properly. Sometimes immigration gives you examples of what to put and stuff, and if you feel that you're in a position that you can do it yourself, kudos, go for it. But for those that might feel they need help and they're watching the cost of it or whatever, honestly, you have to look at the bigger picture. That's the way I look at things. I look at the bigger picture. I may have to pay out a certain amount of money now, but then in the future I can make back twice or triple the money that I paid out. As long as you have your situation started out, then don't worry about the money. Money will come. The money will come. The money will come and go, and it will come back again.
Yeah.
Okay. So I know people say, "Oh, time's hard, whatever," but trust me. At the end of the day, you still have to pay immigration fees, and then you have to pay other things. You gotta pay for pictures. You gotta pay for medicals, whatever. Right? And then if you apply and you don't get through, you gotta start all over again. You gotta pay again, right? So basically, sometimes it's best for you to just pay the money, get it done one time, and then then everything will be everything. You get it back afterwards. So
yeah, because the thing is, life is about, is it give and take? We say it's like give and take, because sometimes people might pay a whole set of money just, for example, clothes, shoes, Those are necessities. Those are basic needs. But at the end of the day, if you know that you want to stay in a country or you want to do better with your life, and you know that Canada is the land of opportunities in terms of education, in terms of jobs, whatever. You gotta do what you have to do. The same way you buy your clothes, you buy your food, you do your shelter, stuff like that. If this is a major necessity for you, go for it. Go for it. So, as Shanita said, Shanita's not wrong. If you want to do it yourself, if you know that you're comfortable doing it yourself, go for it. But our advice would be to use a consultant or an immigration lawyer.
I will just say a little thing about citizenship too. Like for me, like I said, I didn't use a consultant or immigration um, lawyer for citizenship. I don't think it was necessary for me. For some people, it might be necessary. Like I said, is based on your comfort level, what you think, if you think you can do it or not. But basically, if you have your PR, I just think like you do your. Of course, you have to read the questions. You have to answer the quiz or whatever they give you, and then afterwards you make sure everything is legit, like make sure everything is how they want it to be. I could probably do another video on citizenship, because there's some things that I found in the application of citizenship you have to be really like on point with. When it comes to timing, being out of the country, being back in the country, how many days you could be, and all these other things. Like I was on that when it was applying. I was reading, I was making notes, all these different things. But yeah. What was I saying about citizenship before I said that? I lost my train of thought.
I think you were talking.
Oh yeah, but if you need to get that help for citizenship too, that's fine. For me it wasn't that necessary, like I said. But yeah, I pretty much lost a major train of thought. Yeah.
See the woman again. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. We made it, but we actually enjoyed the conversation too. So please like, share, and subscribe. And I just want to leave you with one note. Always do something for yourself that is necessity for you. So if it's important to Tony, it's important to me. If it's important to Shanita, it's important to Shanita. But whatever you do, make sure that you make yourself comfortable. And sometimes if you have to pay for it, then do it.
Correct.
Thank you guys.
Bye.
Bye.